Here we are. So today's question is, are you looking back in order for you to move forward? So today the real question is, how do we use backgrounds to create our video content? That is today's question. Video content using backgrounds. And I'm going to show you a little bit about how you may want to consider how your background looks and how you may be able to manipulate some tools. Now, when we think about video content, we think about our content marketing ecosystem. This again kind of hits all of the broad areas: social media, your website, email, your video creatives, as well as your podcast and blogs for that matter. So we want to make sure that you have content that is going to be able to even be repurposed in many of these different areas. So that's something that we're going to be making sure that we're going to be hitting on as well today. So as you can see right now, I have a background. This is simply just my back wall in my office, in my home office space. And I have had a chance to move my space around and utilize just my wall and just have things hanging on the wall for a background, right? And that works just fine. Although sometimes a plain background has its drawbacks. For instance, let me make sure I have this set down all the way down. Okay, sorry. Um, make sure something. Okay, sorry guys. All right, I just wanted to make sure I was coming through and you guys are not hearing the background images. Let me make sure that my crisp is on because sometimes I might need a little help. So let me just put my background setting on. I have that one on mute. Oh, I know what to do. Give me 1 second. Okay. Is that better? I think that's better. Hello? Okay, good. Now we're in better shape. Sorry about that, guys. All right. So today's Biz Tip Tuesday is where we're going to focus on background, particularly when it comes to when you're on a video screen. Now, this can apply whether you're on a cell phone, you're on your iPad, or you're at your desktop, at your laptop or desktop computer. It's all a matter of perspective and also about intentionality. So I want you to be thinking about it in those veins. What are you creating your video about? Who is the intended video for? And then how does that background impact the viewer's experience? So right now, as I'm sitting here in my office, I don't have anything but a plain back wall. Now, for two reasons. One, I had to move my office around so I can accommodate some other things inside of my office. However, there are many times when having a plain background can be very useful because in some instances it can be you don't have any distractions whatsoever. So people are able to focus on you, your eyes, your mouth, your hands, whatever you're doing, and they're not too distracted about what's going on in the background. Now, that being said, I do want to let you see a little bit kind of behind the scenes is how I happen to use a video tool like StreamYard, which I'm going to put the banner up here if you're interested. So you can get your own version. I think they still have a trial, and then you can get it for a nominal fee. I tend to use it a lot because I create a lot of video content and I'm on different video experiences. So I tend to use it a lot. I think it's like $25, and it has some benefits when you're as a product. You can do that. In fact, I'm going to switch over here real quick. Let me see if I can go to StreamYard without it trying to be in my account. See, I can't do it because I'm in my account. Well, maybe I still can. Give me a sec. Let me just share my screen. We're going to be real flexible today. So when you're using a tool like StreamYard, and there are others, a lot of these same things apply even if you're using a Zoom or other types of platforms, but for video creating of content. I'm going to share my screen with you so you can kind of see in the back end, what does this look like? I think I can just share. There we go. I'll share my tab. Okay. So when you are in an account like StreamYard, the great thing about StreamYard, I feel, is that you're able to do multiple streamings on different platforms simultaneously. And you could do it live, or you can even do it as a pre-recorded session. And they just kind of enhance some of those platform capabilities. But you could just see, based on once you log into an account like StreamYard, you have all of the different broadcasts that you can schedule up ahead of time. It'll set up everything, and it will also save, depending on the type of coverage that you have. It will also save those past recordings for a certain period of time, and then you can download that. So do know that you have that capability. And then you also can view all of the videos that you have in your library that you said that you were doing in your live. It kind of, again, your library of videos are right there. The great thing about StreamYard is just that you're able to multiply stream your videos on different platforms. So in this particular case, I have all of the different platforms that I have accounts for not only Keep It Simple Coach, but also for some of my product brands, be it Content Latte, Social Balance, or Keep It Simple Webinars. And so any of the social platforms that you have accounts for, you're able to make those connections and have them there, and then you can stream out to them whenever you see fit. You also have an ability now to add members. So now you can have multiple people kind of join you, have moderators and things along those lines. And then this is kind of telling you like your storage down here in this very bottom corner, I think because of where I am. Hold on, let me see if I can change can I change my camera screen? Let me take myself off. Back. So let's talk about backgrounds. So you have two different types of backgrounds that you can choose to do. Well, I guess really three. The first one, obviously, is just your default background. Some people will go through the details of actually creating a nice backdrop, putting bookshelves, pictures, flowers, whatever they want, and have their own natural background sitting behind them, and they don't need to use a fake one. So there's just your real background that you can set up however you want to, keeping in mind, in my particular case, I'm using a laptop that's pretty much stationary on my desk, right? But I do have an iPad that I use. I can still use my cell phone. And of course, any of those, I have a little bit more mobility in my a chance of you capturing a background wherever I am, right? So you have that. But let's just say, for all intensive purposes, you're creating some more formal video content that you want to have control of. And so again, you can have, again, number one, your natural background that you have control of and can set up however you want. That's video background number one. Another background that you have is the what I would consider your virtual background. This is an opportunity where you're able to take a picture or from anywhere, and there's places that actually you can get them for free, and you can set them up so that they're actually sitting behind you, in that it gives you a sense of a different type of a background or a fake background. Sometimes they look even really good. It could be in different places. So I'm going to share with you some backgrounds that I have. And then, of course, you can get these other backgrounds in different places. So give me 1 second. And what I'm going to do here, in fact, I'm going to share my screen. So let me see if it's going to let me do this. Am I still? Yeah. Okay, let's go back because no. Am I able to broadcast? I'm in my broadcast. Oh, okay. Tell you what I'm going to do this way. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to remove the stop screen. I'm going to share my entire screen. There we go. Okay. And hopefully it won't start to look ugly, but it might. Let's see if this is going to work or not. See, this is what happens when you share your screen while you're going live. It's going to do this duplicate thing going on back here. So let me see if, let me just try one other thing. Give me a second, guys. I wanted to, okay. Let me not do it as a, what you call stream. I'm going to do it as a share and as a tab and see if, yeah, we'll try it this way and see if it won't duplicate that way. It's still going to do it. All righty. Okay, we'll just have to go with the flow. You guys are flexible, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay, so here, what's going to happen, maybe when I change my screen, I'm going to go over here to settings. And now you are looking at my screen and you can see, I think you can see, let me see if it's going to let me, yeah. Yeah, I think it's letting me do this. Let me see something on my Facebook screen as well. And here we go to groups. I don't want to, there we go. Okay, seems to work. Okay, so now you're in the background and you can see my screen. And so here are a couple of settings. So you have some general settings that are about, if you want to change your comments, and some of the settings you want to turn on and off are there. The most important one we're going to look at, of course, is the camera, which is now where you're able to see me. Now, you have your default camera, right, which is right here, which is part of the laptop. But you also, if you have other apps that you're using, even your Snapchat, or in this case, I have my camera, and I have another camera app. And I'm able to utilize those as a camera. These are digital cameras, they're not necessarily physical cameras. But this is like right now I'm on my default camera that's part of the laptop, right? You then can control your audio settings, what you're using. I'm using my Yeti mic to come through on. And then you have virtual backgrounds. Now, here is where we get to have some fun. So in this particular case, what we're doing is you have by default a place right here where it says no virtual background. So by default, this is what you've been watching me do in this particular case, right? Now you'll notice that I have a setting here that's called I have a green screen. Now, typically you have an opportunity if you want to use a virtual background. Sometimes it looks much better when you have a true green screen. So if you recall, like on the movies and you see people like flying around and throwing darts and all that other stuff, they're not really doing that, right, to each other. It's all superimposed on a green screen so that then they put a background behind that actor so it looks like it's naturally where they were. That's the trick of it, right? So there are physical green screens. So I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Now, having said that, you still can, in most cases, the technology has gotten really, really good lately, that you can still change backgrounds without a green screen. So that's the other nice thing. So I have physical ones, I have big ones, and I have small ones. that I'm using as well. So here is the first setting that you have in StreamYard is blurring the background. So in this case, there's a little difference. You can see, like, see how crisp the line in the corner is, right? Now I turn it over to blurring. Now, if by chance you happen to be in a messy space and you still want to go live, you can do that. Just blur your background. And this way, again, it's just softness that's going on, whatever is taking place in the background, and you don't have to worry about cleaning up your room. So that's what blur screens is really good for. So do know that. Now, then you can start using images. So there are just simple photographs that you're able to utilize. So if you take a picture like a brick, voila. So here in the brick background, it's pretty cool, right? You can start to see my hands, and they're pretty, and I'm my resolution is pretty good. And I'm able to no longer have a background. I'm not in the street, I'm not outside on a brick wall. If I go like this, it even looks like I'm touching my back wall, but I'm not. Um, but this is a fake green screen image, or rather of a brick wall. And the nice thing about brick walls is it's kind of very neutral in a way, kind of gives you an exterior feel. So again, what's your intention around creating your video or your photograph for that matter? And what type of backgrounds are going to work really well for you? So now you can get into other photograph backgrounds. And many of you have heard me talk about my video coach, Lou Bortoni. So you can get other videos. I'm going to send you to his site, and he gives, I think it's even a part of the class. You can get tons of different videos, background images from him. And then there's other sites you could just do Zoom backgrounds, and you can find lots of different ones. So here are a couple that I tend to utilize. So here's one that is kind of a very, I won't call it posh, but a very nice, a normal background of a house in the living room, right? Pianos in the background, it's lighting. And that's the nice thing about using these photographs. I could be here at night making a video, and my background is daylight. Now, what does that do for you? Well, a couple of things. It gets you to create video at night, even though it's day, and when it's dark outside, and you still can have your background. You also can see that this is pretty good from a distance perspective, and they take in some of the photographs, when you look for zooms, it's taken into account the distance that you typically would be away from the camera as a sitting position at a desk, and that in proportion with if I was sitting in my office or in my living room at a chair with a laptop, it's kind of there's a proportion piece going on here. It's pretty decent, right? So you have that. So also note the colors, the tones, all those things kind of come into play. And also your subject matter makes a lot of a difference. If you're in a workplace and you're coming in for a meeting, this would probably be really cool because they don't know what my house looks like. They nobody been to my house. So they can say, this is my house. No one will know the difference. And you can also tell that the cutaways, which would be that background in green. And remember, I don't have a green screen on. Remember, I'm still just using a superimposed virtual background without a green screen. And you can see how well the resolution is on this. It's pretty damn good. So you want to keep that in mind. Same thing. So there's different photographs that I have saved and utilized. Let me see if it's going to, here's another nice one. Again, bright background. I think those are always important. So you want to think about your tone and your intention about what is it that you're making a photograph or a video around, and make sure that your backgrounds match the tone and the topic and what you're trying to do. Now you will notice that it does say right here, for best performance, we recommend using a green screen. Yes, always better. But if you don't have it, it's okay, because look at the quality of this. Now, here's a trick that I did learn about. Is that once you are here in StreamYard in particular, I'm going to just say, okay, I'm going to stick with this particular background. And now I'm here. When I go to add myself, I'm going to stop. I'm going to remove the share for a minute. Now I am me, and I'm sharing and projecting and with using this particular background. Now, one of the issues that I did find out about when you're in your settings is And I'm going to, I think I got it. Let me share it back here. When you're in your settings view, there we go. When you're in your settings view and you're in your camera, you might have to turn on here where it says advanced options. You need to have it at the highest resolution as you possibly can so that you will appear as you streaming through. I ran into a difficulty recently where it stopped showing, even though if I wasn't using the background, it wasn't showing. That's what some of my videos you've seen. I haven't had any background, just my natural one, because we were having technical difficulties. Come to find out, it was all about the camera resolution, and somehow it had changed. So when I drop down, and this is going to happen, so watch carefully. If I drop down to a lower one, that one worked fine. It seemed to be showing okay. And I'm going to drop down again. And now I drop down. Notice even the difference when I changed my resolution. This is a really low one. And you can see how the images change a bit. That was at a resolution. Notice how the resolution puts me in a different placement in perspective of the background and myself as a picture, on the camera. So each one is going to make a difference. So depending on your device, is going to be different. So I had it at the highest one that I have based on my camera, which is 720 high definition. So what I have learned is put it at the highest definition as you possibly can, and you should not have any technical difficulties. That's what I was told. We'll see how long this lasts. Okay, so we're here with that. Now, I'm going to remove myself. So now I'm sharing the background and I'm good to go here. Now, once you have your background chosen, then you're able to just proceed with your different types of videos. Now, this particular one, again, depending on the setting, this may be good. If you're actually going to be creating video content over like a series and you want to take that into account, like when I create training materials for clients, I try to use the same background for all my videos, because I may not necessarily do them all at the same time. But that's the nice thing about controlling your backgrounds with video backgrounds, virtual backgrounds, is that you can control it. And they may even want you to use a brand one. What is a brand video background, a virtual background? I'm glad you asked. Let me show you what one can look like. So I'm going to go back here and go back to settings. Okay. Yeah. So we're here back in video backgrounds, and you're able to change. Here are some other ones. So a brand background might be something like a pattern, like this one. So this is what I would call a branded background. And you can make them in all the different types of it. This basically just is a patterned background that's for a particular brand. So this one happens to be for my Social Balance one. And so you can see, again, because I don't have a green screen, that the overlays and my placement is pretty good considering it's not a green screen. And I'm using a brand behind me. Now, why is this important? Depending on the intent around the background and the purpose in your message, this is part of your brand recognition and how you are sending a subliminal message to say, remember me, I'm with Social Balance, Social Balance. So even when I'm talking about something else, in the background is saying Social Balance, Social Balance. So you have that to think about. It's very simple for you to create a background image like this as a pattern. You can do it in Canva, you can do it in Trello. If you don't feel comfortable doing it, you can certainly get somebody else to do it with your logo, and then they can create in the different patterns that you want them to do. So this is what I would call like a brand background that you could use when you're wanting to do things that are just brand specific for your podcast, for a video, what have you. So just know that you have that as an option as well. Now I'm gonna try. Okay, so, and then here's some other backgrounds just to be showing off. So here's my, cafe background, my coffee enthused background. Then I have, here's one, me at a cafe, right? So if I want to have that type of a nuance and background, more relaxed, I'm sitting someplace else, right? And then this is one of my favorites, just a nice wall background. Again, I didn't have to go through the trouble of hanging shelves, finding pictures, find your pictures and things that are going to make you look good. Also think about your contrast and your colors. That's always really important, right? So for me, this particular background looks really good. It's nice contrast, it's bright, and I'm wearing a dark color. So these are things you want to keep in mind when you're thinking about your backgrounds. If you want to make sure that you're having enough of that contrast, light, dark lighting, things like that. Notice too that I have my video rings, my lighting rings are on. You don't see shadows when you have a background. So that's another nice thing about virtual backgrounds. Whereas other backgrounds, you still will see a shadow. So that's something else to think about. Okay, I'm gonna come out of here. There we go. And I'm gonna take us out of here. Now, there are certainly, so this is all for the virtual background. So I'm gonna take this off. Let's take off virtual background. We're gonna go into my settings. And go here. Okay, in fact, let me share my screen when I'm still in this. Okay. So we're going to now go to stream. So virtual backgrounds are here, right? And you can, and remember, I didn't have it set to a green screen. When I turn on green screens, remember, I'm still here with my background. If I choose to say I do have a green screen and I turn this on, notice the difference. It's reliant on a green screen for this to overlay on to give me an appearance of much of for the image to come through brighter and more intensely. Now, this is green, but it's nowhere close to the dark green that you need. So a green screen is going to look something like, ooh, I'm not going to see this. Hold on a second. There you go. This is the green. Let's put it this way. This is the type of green that you will be looking for when you are looking for some fabric to hang on. Or there's different ways that you can get your green screen. You can simply go and get a green board, paint it green, this color green. This is usually like a hex color green. It's like the ideal color. Blue is another version as well, but green is like the most ideal. So, and then you can get them. I have one that I use for my travel that's a bit bigger, but it folds up like a taco and rings up. And I use that for traveling purposes. In fact, let me find out real quick. So this is my traveling green screen that I use if I happen to be traveling somewhere and I don't want to, and I know I'm going to be doing video content, then I put this together. So it pops up and is really big, to like 6 by 5, I think, something like this. It's fairly large, but it folds up like a taco and then folds up into this, and that way I'm able to travel along with it. And this one happens to be blue on green side and blue on one side and green on the other. And that's good. And you can simply just hang it with a hook and then you're good to go. Now, and then there's also an opportunity if you want to, you can simply buy vinyl backgrounds. So vinyl backgrounds, I'm going to show you. Hold on one second. You can purchase basically those same images, but they are superimposed on vinyl fabrics. And you can find these anywhere. Like for photographers, if you've ever gone to a photographer, I'm sure you all have, even if you did the ones from school, same ones, right? They are that fabric background, that little one that's like, looks like marble, whatever, right? Those are backgrounds. And so you're able, if you want to purchase images that are already ready for you just to hang up on the wall, and you could be done. And you don't need a green screen. It would just be that particular background. So you have, trying trying to bring up the ones. Here we go. And typically, if you go on to, when you go on to, not Zoom, sorry. If you go onto Amazon, you can get different types of backgrounds, different colors, different textures, anything along those lines. Of course, you know when I want to bring up the ones. There we go. There we go. If you type in the words, sometimes some words are better than others. I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to share this screen right here. Give me 1 second. I'm going to stop doing this one. Hold on. And I'm going to remove. I'm going to share my tab. Here we go. All right. So inside of Amazon, you can, if you want to, you can type in the term wall background backdrop. And there is where you'll be able to find different images of background. These are vinyl backgrounds. They can cost as little as $12. And you can purchase these online. So you have things like here with just a wood background. You can have green leaves. If you want to throw up, if you're doing some type of a party in a wall, you can hang this kind of party, house party type of thing. These, again, backgrounds. Those are not real. You're not going to get the balloons. This is a picture of the balloons, all right? But they come in different sizes, and you can get things like brick walls, flowers, $16, right? So there's lots of different background images that you can, again, without having to have a green screen, just hang it on your wall and then you're done. So you may find that that's even a better solution for you, and rather than having to go through a green screen, or if you don't like the pictures themselves, and you don't have to worry about coming through and having a little finger issue like what you're seeing right now with me. So there's lots of different varieties that are out there that you could utilize. Here's the brick one. In fact, if you just want the brick one, $13, can't beat it. So that's another option for you, is buy your own vinyl backgrounds that you're able to just purchase, and then you just hang it on the wall with some tape and you're good to go. You can use tape. What I typically use too, if you don't like to put tape on your walls, and sometimes depending on the weight of the fabric, is you can get those command hooks, the command hooks, and you can just hang a couple on the wall, and then you can get those like those clips. Oh, actually, I can show you like here. You can get those kind of pin clips like this. Make sure I can show this to you. It's going to be nice enough. Maybe I have to put it in front of me. Yeah. You can buy clips that look like this, and they have the pin on top, bottom of it, and you can use that to hang. And in fact, so there's different ways you can, hack your way into creating and hanging your wall background without putting it on tape. So the command hooks is one way, and then, or just tape or duct, whatever works for you. So you just have to play with it. So you don't have to have this big stand and hook it up and all that other stuff. Just slap it on the wall and you're done. Okay. Now, so that's one way. Another, looking at your background, is just that, having a real green screen so that you can have more quality backgrounds. I don't even know if I'm really going to need to do this now because I figured out we were having this technical difficulty before. But you can buy fabric like this one. And then what you're able to do, it came with, in this particular case, it comes with these hooks that you're going to hang on the wall with what I call washable stick glue. In fact, let me see if I make sure I say it right. But you're able to, in my orders, you're able to use this kind of film with these hooks. So these are sticky on both sides. So this, and it comes with like this film, right? So it's sticky on this side and it's sticky on both sides, right? And then you see these hooks, like I was just talking about. So this set came with 3 of them. So there's 1, 2, 3 of these that are here, right? And then you get 3 of these sticky wall, clear stickies, right? And then you can place them on my wall. Stop sharing. Hold on a sec. Here we go. So you're going to use your 3 hooks. I'm trying to pull up what I just, here we go. This one I happen to get is 8 feet by 9 feet long. And this is a green screen background sheet. That's basically fabric so that you can use it on your Zoom or inside of StreamYard and those types of things, or for photographs if you want to. But the film here is actually, you can take it off the wall, you just wash it and you're able to use it again. It's really cool sticky stuff. I'm trying to see if I get the right name for it, so I won't. Yeah, so it's kind of like a glue. Film is what you're going to be using for here, right here. So you get 3 of those, and you get these 3 hooks, and I'll put this link up for you guys real quick. Hold on, can I do that? Yeah, I should be able to. I'll put it in the notes because I don't think it's letting me do that while I'm doing my screen with you guys. That's not. So the idea is you're going to put this on the wall, then you're going to stick this on them, because remember, this is 2-sided. So you're going to stick these on the wall, 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to stick your hook on the sticker part. So now you have 3, right? So now I've got the hook, 3 of these on the wall. And then you're going to take you're then going to be able, once you have this, is to take your hook fabric here, depending on how high you want this to go. And then you're just going to clip your fabric and hang it as tall as you need to, so that I have tall walls in my house. You may not have to do that. You may have to, drape it in half and then hook it up. But now I just clip this to my fabric, and then I'm done. And now I have a full green screen to work from. So now I also have what I'm going to actually open up for you guys. I'm going to open up my taco background for you. So give me 1 second. So we're going to go back here. Oh, I won't do that. And I'm going to remove myself. I'm going to go to settings, do that first. And I'm going to take myself off the background. So now we're here. Okay, good. Now I'm going to show you what a regular green screen looks like. So I'm not this one up right now because y'all don't want to see me do that. But I'm going to open up my taco. So again, I get this one for traveling purposes. So you see how this looks? And this is just cotton fabric, but it's going to open up really big. So give me 1 second while I do this, and then you'll see what this looks like. Okay, so I'm back. So now I have a background that looks like this. And this is like, you can see, this is a very large item, considering, like I said, 6'5" by 4 by 5, I think is this one. And I can set it up the long way if I wanted to, depending. You can see it's fairly large, right? So let's see, I'm gonna pop that in there for right now. So this background in and of itself is fairly large. And if I have a hook somewhere else, but when I'm traveling, I don't have to be this far away, close as I would. And then you can zoom in and zoom in camera. I'm going to switch over to this camera. There we go. And I'm going to do share screen. And we'll do this. There we go. All right. Now, I'm going to go to settings again. There we go. Now, I've been using my laptop, which was the HP one. Right? And this is what I look like on this type of a camera. And now I'm going to come over here to my UCam camera. There we go. Now, you'll also notice on my desktop that I have some settings. So this is what we would call like a virtual camera. So this is kind of like Snapchat on your phone, where you're able to use filters and all that other stuff. So you're able to see some things that are different. You'll also may notice while I'm going live is that there may be a little bit of a delay. Consider and think about. But I might use my expressions, so it's cool that way. But I'm going to go here with this setting. Here's where I'm able to zoom in and out my camera. So I'm going to come in closer, and I can even manipulate my background just a little bit. But you'll notice I'm able to move my camera around so I can have just the green screen or enough of it, depending on what I'm trying to do. So there you go. So you can manipulate it. So this is what the software allows you to do, that you can have these types of settings and manipulation. So UCam is the UCam 9 is the one. And again, I'll put the links down below so you'll have access to that. So now that I have my green screen kind of going, let me see if I can. Let's see where's the. All righty. Let me go back here to my settings and let me zoom in. There we go. So now I'm back there. Okay. So I'm here on my green screen. Let's see how that changed. All right. So I'm in my background. So now if I go here to background and I change my background picture, look how the difference. This is a little bit cleaner. Notice how now you see the green in the background because I have my background color on. Oh, and I said, but this is because you notice the difference, right? I don't have saying I'm using a green screen. So let's turn on green screen now. And now you can see when off the green screen, see how I don't have the filter on? And you can see the difference where the camera is, where it's not, right? My green filter is. But it just, see how much clearer that is when you have an actual green screen in it? So these are just things that you want to take into account. Here I can talk about, this is the fade. If I want to be darker, you can play with some of these settings so you can have that clarity that you want. If you happen to have blue or green, you can specify. Like I said, like this, the other side of this is blue. But again, you're able to see things a lot deeper and clearer and densely when you have an actual green screen. So these are just some of the things that you can think about doing when it comes to creating your video and utilizing, let me turn this off and put this back here. There we go. And utilizing different backgrounds for your video content so you can do that any way you want as well. Okay. So we're able to utilize backgrounds in a variety of different ways. And that was basically what I wanted to get you all to see today. A little longer than normal, but hopefully you got a good sense for different ways that you can think about backgrounds, your video, and how you can create your content for all the different types of elements that you have at your disposal. Going back to our content marketing ecosystem, think about your videos inside of your social media, inside of your websites, inside of your emails, your creative visuals, your podcasting, and your blogging. All of these are part of your content marketing strategies. And so, how is it when you're creating videos or photographs? How will your backgrounds play into your outcomes and your planning? So, plan accordingly. Find the different backgrounds that are going to work great for you. I'll have some shared video links, resources links below this particular video that you guys are watching live today. Until next time, you can always reach me over here inside of LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And you can also and you can also visit me on my website. So do know that you can always visit me over here at keepitsimplecoach.info as well. Alrighty. So until next time, this is Dr. Yam, your Keep It Simple coach. Let's get busy. Bye-bye.